Canine unit.
Okay, hi. Welcome back
Starting
to
to wake
video.
up and starting to make their way out is one of the Hartman's mountain zebra on our right hand side. Very small zebra species. They only stand in around 4, no more than 5 feet tall when fully grown. And they have these white underbellies. Other zebra species, they're going to have a black stripe pattern throughout. For a Hartman's mountain zebra, they are considered to be black with white stripes. There's a way that we know. We look at the color of their nose, more accurately their muzzle. They have this black muzzle, so that means the species is black with white stripes. If a zebra species were to have a white muzzle, that would mean that they're white with black stripes, with herds of zebras being known as dazzles. The stripe patterns they have, that's really their fingerprints. So our fingerprints cover our fingers, but theirs cover their entire bodies. A lot of theories why that is the case. Some people think it's how they tell each other apart, but the more common working theory is that this is a defensive tool. Also starting to make their way out, this very small antelope. It is called a springbok. Very, very small, but very, very impressive. Springbok get their name for their ability to spring in the air, so they can spring 6 feet in the air at a time. We call that pronking. And they're one of the top 10 fastest land mammals in the world. They're capable of hitting top speeds at about 50 miles per hour. The Maasai giraffe went back inside for now. Well, that is the tallest of the giraffe species, standing 18 to 20 feet tall when fully grown. Maybe later in the day you might see the rest of that Maasai giraffe group make their way out here. We call their herds the Tower of Giraffes because of that size of theirs. We're going to go ahead and continue on. We're going to stay in the savannah, so if you look to your left and you look to your right, you're going to notice these knockdown trees. That indicates what we're looking for here. Knockdown trees indicates that we are moving into elephant territory. So we'll see if any elephants have woken up this morning. My first chance to look for some.
We're going to see some elephants, I think,
I'm also going to be
maybe.
looking to my left, and I think this is my, I'm going to start with the mandrills. The alpha male is front and center. He weighs in at 100 pounds. The rest that live with him only 60 to 30 pounds. If they turn around, you'd see they have these beautiful blue and red faces, and their faces just keep getting brighter and brighter. But with him having the brightest face, that indicates to the rest of the mandrills that he indeed is going to be the alpha. He will be the leader.
What does the monkey say?
Let me look in one more look to see if any elephants have made their way out on this.
So, now see that baby star monkey. What one?
No one yet. We're going to keep going around. See if we can find some elephants this morning. While we are looking, I'm going to talk a little bit about the elephants' hearing. We're super cautious around them, just because how sensitive it is. They hear from great distances, but it also means a lot of noises tend to bother them. So they don't like much. They don't like anything to be too loud or too high pitched. Some noises, though, those are more surprising than that. One of which was discovered by our own conservation team. So our team learned that elephants, they get really annoyed when they hear the buzzing noises that are created from bees. We use this knowledge to help farmers in Kenya to better protect their crops. What they now do, they build beehive fences along their farmlands. It keeps driving elephants away, keep them troubling their homes and fields. And the farmers, they then take the honey from those beehive fences, they can sell that as well. So it's safe for the elephant, it's good for the farmer, it's even really good for the bee. It gives the bee a home. And as we continue along, I also want to point out an elephant's favorite snack. Really close to some clay deposits. When you look to your right, you'll notice that there's all these tusk marks in this clay. So elephants do run their tusks along clay deposits. They break it off and they eat it. Inside of there that are good for the elephant's diet, that acts as a vitamin for them. It's really good for their digestion. Just looking ahead, it doesn't look like the elephants have made their way out this morning. There's a couple of animals that are to be tough in the morning, and collie cattle, giraffes, and elephants, all for the same reason. All three are traveling with babies. Babies, generally speaking, are not awake this early in the morning. It does take the babies a little while to get out here. Sometimes you might see a couple of those giraffes, though, because really when it comes to the baby giraffes, they're only dad. But when it comes to the baby elephant, she's not just raised by one elephant. They raise their young in a community. So everyone pitches in, they raise her together. It also means they move to her schedule. So maybe later in the day, you might see that baby elephant roaming out here with the female herd of elephants. As far as you never know what you're going to see. So there's a chance you can always see male elephants stomping through the yards as well. But as we drive through these areas, especially when we see it open like this, that is what's most common. It's really difficult to find elephants in their natural environment. A mineral called coltan. Coltan is used in production of our cell phones, our electronic devices, and it is found primarily in the home of the elephant. Because we're mining so much for it, we're destroying these, and we're making it near impossible for them to survive in the wild. But we can help. We focus on recycling old electronic devices instead of throwing those out.
Look at that water.
That gets something to keeps their environment safe. Driving along the water, we already have flamingo. Flamingos, they're not naturally pink. The natural color to them is black, white, and gray. Pink is something they're developing because of what they eat. The main source of food for them is brine shrimp. So brine shrimp has this chemical inside of them called keratin. Keratin transforms the flamingo. It's how they get their pink color. It takes a young great flamingo about 2.5 years to get that color throughout. And flocks of flamingos, they are known as a flamboyant. So the bright flamboyant colors we do find on the adults. I did see one male elephant starting to stir and make their way out. He was he stopped to get some breakfast. We're going to see him for just a moment as we go. There he is.
See him?
So one male starting to make their way out. Later we might get a better view of those elephants, and that is one of my favorite males. So male elephants are bigger than females. A female elephant weighs 8,000 pounds. Males 10 to 15,000 pounds. He is every bit of 16,000 pounds. He towers over even male elephants. He's very, very important to the reserve. So I would definitely come back a little bit later, see if we can get a better view of him, and maybe we'll talk more about him. He's a great elephant. But anyway, we're into another portion of the savannah. As we look around here, no telling who we can find, but there's always signs of what I'm looking for. So when you look to your left and you see that mud pit on the ground, that indicates that we're looking for white rhinoceros. Because white rhinos need to live in areas where they can splash around in mud. They'll cover their bodies in it. That's going to protect them from the heat as well as from various insects. But as we continue to look around this area, I will look for those rhinos. I did notice a cheetah pop up here. I want to see if I can find her again. She's going to be really tough to see. They're going to be on our left-hand side. There she is. Her twin sister's much harder to see, but she's in the background with her as well. Can be tough to see at times because of their camouflaging feature. The cheetahs are experts at camouflage, so they can use their spots, they can use the shells of reserves they live in, they can use tall grass, so many different things. Keep the hands inside the vehicle for me, friends. So many different things will help these cheetahs blend very well into their environment, especially when they rest. But when we think of the cheetah, we don't really think of camouflage, we think of speed, which makes sense as they are the world's fastest land mammal. So on average, cheetahs hit top speeds at 60 miles per hour, and they go from 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. A cheetah is a sprinter, not a marathon runner. They'll only keep their speed for 30 seconds before they rest, but in that short time, they will go a great distance, running the length of around 2 football fields. That's what I love about an early morning safari. Well, we're not going to see everybody. That's one of the very few times you're going to see the lions active. Lions are a nocturnal animal. In fact, they sleep at night, or they sleep during the daytime rather, and they hunt at night.
What's that?
And they're going to be sleeping 16 to 18 hours every day to conserve energy in between these hunts. When it is time for the hunt, it's actually to be the female lion who will be the hunter. So the girls are responsible for going out every single night. They hunt and they bring home the food. They use the kopje to survey their savannah. Animals that fall within the light of the kopje are considered their prey. So we can think of this as Mufasa telling Simba, everything that the light touches is your domain. Now, the male that was with him, now he can hunt, but again, that is expected from those 2 females. He is expected to stay behind. He's a defender. So as the defender of the group, when those girls go out for the hunt, he starts patrolling the area. His job is to keep it safe from other predators. He's also going to be the one as well when the females are gone. That's why the male lion has a mane. It is his armor. It protects the vital areas that are around his neck, and as he grows older, it's going to protect those vital areas. And these herds of lions, they are known as a pride, hence the name Pride Rock in the movie The Lion King. Warthogs haven't quite made their way out yet, but you can see these holes that they make. Warthogs are burrowers, the largest burrowing mammal found in Africa. The tusks they have on the front of their faces are not defensive. They act as shovels to dig holes. They do have a pair of defensive tusks, but those are hidden. They're hidden on their bottom jaws. And looking around, other than a visiting hawk, I think that's everybody who's made their way out this early in the morning. There's still one more thing I think I can point out. Yeah, I do see the ostrich eggs. The ostrich eggs almost always stay out here. Rarely going to move those. So on our right hand side, you can see those eggs on the ground. So again, these belong to the ostrich. Ostrich eggs, again, keep those hands inside the vehicle for me, my friends. Ostrich eggs are very large. So each egg weighs about 3 pounds. It is the same amount as 2 dozen chicken eggs. They're also really strong. Every now and then you would see an ostrich stand on those. They don't worry about them getting damaged in any way, really, because those thick outer shells that they have make it possible for the adult to stand on them without those eggs ever cracking. We're going to move into the final leg of the tour, which is from Magadi Glen. We're going to drive by the Warden's Post. I'm already looking at the final animal in view. So last but not least, without further ado, some of the smallest and cutest animals we're going to meet all day. On our left-hand side are going to be some adorable Nigerian dwarf goats. And as we get these little goats now on the hilltop, on the roof, underneath this little beehive fence, on the table, everywhere right now, they're very small. They're about the same size as baby goats. These aren't babies that we're looking at. These are the adults. They just don't get very large, hence that name, dwarf goat. But a Nigerian dwarf goat's a very social, playful, and curious creature. Their play serves a purpose. It helps these little goats develop their bodies physically and establish dominance from within their groups. That is going to be the end of our tour today. I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed learning about some of the animals that live out here, had appreciations for them. If you'd like to learn more,